Well, let's call that flag for what it is. It was an attempted secession from the swamp. You know, when Donald says he's going to drain the swamp, I think we ought to try to secede from the swamp again. I'm getting tired of this bull. You know what I'm talking about? You know, we probably another BS artist in the White House, even though he's better than the last BS artist. He's still a BS artist, all in with the swamp. So I think the only way to go is to secede from the swamp. That's actually what the heck they were trying to do back in 1861, weren't they? Trying to get away from the big money crooks stealing all the freaking tax money and using it up north. It's exactly what they were doing. You know, that's all they were doing. A lot of rain out here. The old forest flag out there too. You know, people are not, I don't really give a damn if they're educated or not, but you know, people, and I actually, to tell you the truth, I don't think the people that are even flying this flag should not be talking about heritage. I don't think, you know, this flag was never decided upon because we got this Southern heritage and we want to have this flag. It was about trying to break away from a crooked system, an unfair system, an unfair taxation system. So why not fly it today for that same reason? There's a lot of rain out here. The flag's not flying that freaking strong, but it was before. But I can tell you that now people don't think of all the angles. You know, instead of just telling you it's a heritage flag, that's such a stupid, lame reason. It's nothing to do with it really in a lot of ways. I mean, maybe it's somewhat true today, but originally, what the heck was it for? And was it rebellion? No. Yeah, I guess it's rebellion against an unfair system. I guess you could say it's rebellion in the same way 1776 was a rebellion, wasn't it? If you want to, we're just trying to break away. We weren't really trying to take over the system. But, you know, one thing I do like, though, I can tell you one thing. I do like a lot of how the Italians think up north. And, you know, there may be a lot of dumb rules up there, but a lot of times the Italians are freaking find ways around them. Because that's what you got to do, man. Wherever, you know, rules are made to be broken. It's exactly all it is. People don't. The order followers are some of the worst ones going. You know, that's really what we got in the rule freaks. And you don't see too much. You know, even that attitude in Italy is not like that pervasive. It is rules, but yeah. You know, they bend them sometimes. So that's a good attitude to have because, you know, why worship the state? This flag isn't about, you know, worshiping the state. It's about worshiping the individual, and there's individual rights. It's not about, and that's one thing that kind of got me about, I think they call it the Southern National something or other conference or whatever it is. I was thinking to myself, you know, the heck with this, why, I don't care about the government part. This flag just represents, it's like the flag of the independent farmers. The ones that want to keep the fruits of their labor. They don't want to be taxed to death, theft. And it's a flag of the moonshiners. You know, that's what it is too, right? It is the flag of the moonshiners. But let me just put it this way, it's the flag of secession, seceding from the swamp. Why not just say that? You know, skip this heritage, not hate stuff. Why are people so afraid to just say what it's really for? It's about breaking away from the money powers. That's all it is. It's about individual rights. Getting the hell away from the money powers. You know, people weren't, let me take an example of Pickett's charge up at Gettysburg. You think they were freaking thinking even about anything? About, you know, sometimes even they get religion in this flag. They'll tell you it's the Jesus cross of St. Andrew. Well, it's taken from the Scottish cross, but really this flag was just designed to differentiate between the northern flag and the southern flag. The southern flag originally had like a red, white, and blue large bold stripe with 13 stars on a blue, you know, it was like not that dissimilar from the original American flag, so caused a lot of confusion on the battlefield. So they came up with this flag with the X from the Scottish flag, which is, yeah, originally from the cross of St. Andrew, but they just wanted something to be able to differentiate between the North and the South. That's all it was. What was the South trying to do? Break away from the swamp. That's all it was. You know, this flag's staying up 365. Both these flags and the flags I got down in here too, they're staying up there 365 days a year. I don't care. That's just how it is. Got one here, Mike. Got one here too. Third national flag. They're staying up all the time. You know, these people are freaking so afraid to stick their neck out on anything. Even around here. I mean, it's like, God, what the heck's the matter with these people? They're so afraid. You know, it's like they're going to put the flag up during April for 1 week or something. Or maybe during, I don't know, Robert Edward Lee's birthday or something. You know, maybe something like that. Or, you know, but it's up there all the time. As far as I'm concerned, the South has never relinquished a defeat. And I'm going to talk about that some more, because the way you really got to play it is the old Roman way, the way Fabian played it. Never admit, in other words, even when you say you're defeated, you're not defeated. Resist every possible way you possibly can. You know? If somebody makes you take a loyalty oath to the freaking, remember when the Confederates were made to take a loyalty oath? Well, guess what? If you're made to take a loyalty oath under duress, it's not a good oath. It doesn't matter. You know, if somebody's putting a knife to your throat and they're saying you got to take an oath, that oath isn't no good. You know what I'm saying? There should be resistance at all times. That's the way I look at it. So I keep the symbols up all the time. I don't care. I've got one on my bike too. But you know, and I'm not gonna defend against the PC asswipes out there, because you know, they're just, you know, they either they're stupid or they're just game players. Maybe they're paid by George Soros to troll me or something. I don't know. But the deal is, you know, this has always been the flag to secede from the swamp. The swamp was, you know, all the tax money was being used to benefit the big railroads up north. That's what was going on. Even Abe Lincoln, as bad as he was trying to resist some of the big bankster stuff going on up there too. And Abe Lincoln was actually criticized by the young J.P. Morgan in 1864, I think, when J.P. Morgan was 27 years old. He got disgusted with Abe Lincoln by seeing that there were just a bunch of war profiteers that were continuing the war because he was making a lot of money for the North, for certain people. And but even Abe Lincoln, as bad as he was resisting the international bankers. They were trying to set up a central bank in the United States, and he resisted that. And that might be really why he was assassinated. Not, you know, not the myth that they try to tell you it was a Confederate agent or something. I don't think it had nothing to do with a Confederate agent or anything like that. I think it had to do with Abe Lincoln, as bad as he was and as much as centralist as he was still resisting a central bank. Even though he suspended habeas corpus, took down all the newspapers that were critical of him, put people in jail for being critical of him, even puts the politicians in jail for being critical of him. You know, started a war without authorization by Congress, the whole 9 yards, right? As bad as he was, he wasn't even as bad as some of the people that were trying to make him do things even worse. So, the name of the game is total control. And this flag is an independence flag. That's what it is. You know, every time I put one of these videos out, the people on YouTube give me a little yellow asterisk or something. Well, not all the time, but sometimes they do. They do about 50-50. But you know, these guys, these people are reviewing this stuff. They don't even know what the hell it's for. They have no idea what this flag's for. No idea. And you know, I'm going to say this again. I'm getting freaking really peed off. You know, it was the grandsons and great-grandsons of the Confederates that fought against the North. That were the main ones that were fighting against the Germans in World War II. And they were flying this flag even in their units sometimes. But they, you know, they go on, you know what I mean? They make, that's the biggest, most heinous smear going when they associate this flag with centralized control and fascism. No way in hell. It's exact, complete, total opposite But that's why the powers don't like it. The money powers. The money powers that control YouTube also. You know, that's what they'll say. Put pressure on you. They'll put pressure on YouTube to take care of those flags. That there is a video with that flag. Make sure it's advertiser friendly. You know, whatever. You know, but here's the reality of it. And I think that should be a new, you know, campaign. You know, secede from the swamp. And the southern states ought to start reuniting and just say to hell with it. You know, in spirit anyway. In spirit anyway. Because I think the more they try to take away the southern symbols, it's almost like bombing Pearl Harbor. Remember that? You know, nobody gave a damn. Nobody wanted to be involved in World War II until there was an attack on America. Nobody really paid attention to the Confederate memorials that much. Most people didn't even know they were there until they tried to take them away. So, it's kind of like waking up the sleeping giant of the South. That's what's going on. So, but you got to make sure you argue it the right way, because if you start saying it's heritage, that's lame. It has nothing to. I mean, there's a little bit there today where it's heritage, but the main emphasis of why this flag was adopted was, one, just to differentiate between the North and the South, because they couldn't figure out who was who on the battlefield, so they took the X design from, I think it was General Beauregard, half Italian guy, that came up with this. And the other side, the other thing is, what was the South trying to do? They're trying to break away from the draconian, crooked tax system that we're getting bled dry from, which is the same thing that the colonists broke away from the UK from some decades earlier. Since my family fought in South Carolina and broke away, 8th Regiment, 21st Regiment in South Carolina, and Sherman went right through my family's farms. And a few generations earlier, they were fighting the British. Battle of Moultrie, Charleston Harbor, and also in British seas at Charleston, and also in you know, Rangers in Captain Wise's Rangers, and also one was a captain in my direct granddad's. One was a captain in General Francis Marion's brigade. So, you know, the money wants to own you, so they hate this flag. That's what it comes down to. We don't want to be owned. Okay, there you go. That's what secession's about. It's called independence. There you go. So, secede from the swamp. Remember that.